next presentation, we have Trimble new products. And here we're going to hear from a couple guys with Trimble, Pete Mestemaker and Skylar Newmeyer. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that okay, Skylar, if you can hear me. Just a quick intro to Pete. Pete's worked as a surveyor for 9 years in Colorado before joining Trimble in 2005. His roles at Trimble have included training, working with the marketing assistance and testing team for geospatial, and now sales for the Western U.S. distribution partners. He is married with 2 kids and lives in the Denver area.
So the next thing we're going to talk about is the R780. So the R780 was released again in Q3 of last year, and it's a mid-tier GNSS receiver that we've got. Okay, so we're just going to talk about some key features of that. So for one, it uses ProPoint. Anyone that's used an R12 or an R12i would be familiar with ProPoint. This also utilizes tip technology, which is our IMU-based tilt compensation. It's an incredibly rugged receiver. It utilizes center point RTX. Okay, so what it replaces is the R8S. And again, probably a lot of us in this call are familiar with the R8 series receivers. The R8s were not RTX capable. Okay, so this fills a gap there. It is very scalable compared to the R12 or the R12i, and it's going to utilize the latest GNSS technology. Okay, so as far as ProPoint goes, ProPoint is highly accurate, right? It gives great results in challenging GNSS environments. So basically what ProPoint does is we take everything that we can throw at it, all constellations, all signals, and we let the engine basically decide what is positive or what helps the solution and what degrades the solution, right? And it also gives us enhanced constellation support. So again, I've already mentioned RTX, where this is filling the hole in the portfolio created when we end of life the R8S. But this allows us to do RTX, and then this also gives us the ability to track all new signals and constellations, right? As far as TIP technology, okay, TIP stands for Trimble Inertial Platform, and it basically allows us to take tilted observations, okay? So to get those obstructed points, right? Building corners, something under a fence, right? Maybe a property corner or something like that. And again, highly accurate. You can use it for topo, you can use it for stakeout. I can remember from my surveying days when I used to stake out with GNSS, right? That was not the funnest thing to do because, we were always computing the position in the head of the receiver, not at the tip of the receiver, whereas now we're computing that position at the tip of the receiver. So you can just kind of go around, move it to find your point, and then go ahead and take your stakeout observations. So it can really speed some things up there, right? Give you improved productivity out in the field. This is a very rugged receiver, right? So it's a marine aluminum housing. It is IP68 rated, has great operating temperature range, and it's submersible in up to 1 meter of water for up to an hour, right? Is what it's spec'd at. And then, of course, as most Trimble receivers are, survive a 2 meter pole drop, right, onto concrete. So again, very rugged. So a little different than the R12 or the R12i. This one is very scalable, right? So we can configure it. You can purchase it as a base, as a rover light, as a rover, or as a base rover. So basically what it allows you to do is purchase it and then upgrade it for future needs, right, or future requirements that you may have. Okay. This is just a little graph that talks about what the different configurations provide, right? So everything is SBAS, GPS, GLONASS, down the line there. Everybody can see that at the bottom, okay? So the rover light, for instance, you don't get Galileo and you don't get Baidu and you don't get tilt, okay? So it's gonna function more like an R8S, right? But again, you're still utilizing the ProPoint engine, okay? The rover, it's going to have everything included in there, minus the base functionality. So it won't have the CMR or the RTCM outputs. All right. Once you go to a base rover, that is basically a fully featured receiver. Okay. The only thing that I think we could add to a base rover configuration for an R780 would be NEMA outputs. All right. And again, that would give you the maximum flexibility there. Okay. RTX, again, we've already talked about this. This again backfills the spot in the portfolio where we had the R8S, and the R8S didn't support L-Band or RTX. Okay, so the R780 fills that gap. For those of you that don't know, right, RTX is a satellite or an IP-based correction service that you can use. So basically, you can just go out with your rover, and if you subscribe to RTX, you can go out and if you subscribe specifically to Centerpoint RTX, you can go out and collect survey grade observations, right? Just from either talking to the satellite or getting the corrections through, an internet correction, okay? And again, with this receiver being new, okay, it's got our latest chip, which is the Maxwell 7. Again, you can track, all current and new satellite constellations and signals, okay? ProPoint is renowned for its ability to work in really, really challenging GNSS environments. Okay, good multi-path mitigation in there, and then plus we've got the web UI, right? And within the web UI, you can do this spectrum analyzer. So the spectrum analyzer allows us to identify sources of jamming, right? That could be detrimental to any type of GNSS surveying that we wanted to do. And then there's some extra filtering options in there as well. Okay, so here's the portfolio. The R750 I presented on last year at this users group. So that's a modular receiver that also utilizes ProPoint. Okay, it is very scalable. We've got the R2, okay, which again is very scalable from sub-meter to centimeter level configurations. Very applicable for GIS or survey workflows. It's a rover-only solution. It cannot be used as a base station, okay? Again, the R780, we've been talking about that, right? Utilizing ProPoint, utilizing tip technology, and giving you a little bit more flexibility from a scalability standpoint. And then we've got the R12 and the R12i, right? So the premium top of the line solution, again, both utilizing ProPoint and tip, and really there's just not a better GNSS receiver out there for that.